Hello everybody, Gisele Grenier here. Alright, in full transparency, this is take 5. Yeah, Mia and Chaos. Take 5. Alright, so if this one doesn't work, I'm going to just keep recording and let the barking and jumping on the table begin. So in today's video, we're going to be mixing oranges. And the reason why we have so many paints out here is that when you're mixing oranges, you have so much of a variety of choices. You've got so many reds to choose from and so many yellows to choose from. So what I've done is I've pulled out 5 reds and I've pulled out 5 yellows and some white. And what you're going to do is watch the video first, then you can do the exercise to see how I'm going to do the chart and pull out 5 is a good number, but your best quality paint to do this exercise. So in this particular lesson, I'm focusing on the fluid acrylics and the premium craft paint, and I have a traditions here. I want to let you know why. So what I have in the Decor Media Fluid Acrylics: Naphtha Red Light, Quinacridone Magenta, Pyrrole Red, Primary Magenta, Hansa Yellow Medium, Hansa Yellow Light, Primary Yellow, and Titanium White. And then in the traditions, I have Hansa Yellow. In the Decor Americana acrylics, I have True Red and Bright Yellow. So the reason why I have Hansa Yellow in traditions is I don't have Hansa Yellow in the fluid acrylics. I only have it in traditions. One other note is the Hansa Yellow Medium in the Decor Media Fluid Acrylics is a mixture of PY6 and PY73, so it's a yellow and a white. But in the traditions, it's only PY73. So myself, if I had to make a choice between the two, I would go with the traditions because it's the pure pigment, and if I want to add white, I can add white. That's your choice though. All right, and the other thing, oh yeah, why do I have purple paints out here? Well, remember I keep saying don't take paint at its face value? So what looks like here is purple paint or violet paint. Well, the Quinacridone Magenta is a red. It's PR122. So pop quiz. If this is a paint that looks violet, what does PR122 tell us? And then we have Primary Magenta, which is a purple paint, PV19. So again, with that pop quiz, what does PV19 mean? Okay, answer in the comments below. So to save time, I've put the paints out. Now I'm going to move them all out of the way. And you can see from my chart, what I've done is on the left side, this is a different type of chart. On the left side, I've done Naphtha Red Light, PR9, Quinacridone Magenta, PR122, Pyrrole Red, PR254, Primary Magenta, PV19. Then here, every 2 squares, Hansa Yellow Medium, I put PY73 with an asterisk, I put PW6, just to remind me that this is the Decor Media Fluid Acrylics is a mix, but if it's the traditions, it's only PY73. Then 2 squares over, Hansa Yellow, PY74, Hansa Yellow Light, PY3, Primary Yellow, PY3, PY73, PW6. So I can identify which one are mixes. Then down the bottom, I've got DAA, which is Deco Art Americana, True Red, Bright Yellow. Then over here, this is a separate experiment. Deco Art Traditions Vermilion, this one here, is a mix. I didn't write that down. PR9, PY74. We're going to take PR9 and PY74, which is Naphtha Red Light and Hansa Yellow, and we're going to make our own to show you why. Then you don't need to buy this one. You just have to use 2 other colors that are already in the core limited palette if you've been following my method of color mixing. So as with most of the videos, what we're going to get started with is putting down our initial colors. So what I'm going to do is start off, we're going to take Naphtha Red Light and Hansa Yellow Medium. We're going to put it here. We're going to blot our brush, not rinse it, blot our brush, pick up white, and then put that over here. So Naphtha Red Light, and we're going to go here, Hansa Yellow Medium. That's a bit too much. A bit more yellow. And these you kind of have to play with depending on the vibrancy of your paint. And oranges, I so prefer making up my own oranges because then They're a little bit ruddier, which is for my style of painting. But if you like really intense bright colors, then you do it any way you want. Okay, and then I'm going to rinse my brush. Then I'm going to go Naphtha Red Light and Hansa Yellow. You know what? And I know what I'm going to do here. I'm going to make sure I don't get my hand. So, Naphtha Red Light, Queen Magenta, Pure Red, Primary Magenta, Hansa Yellow Medium, Hansa Yellow Light, and Primary Yellow. And this is True Red, and this is Bright Yellow. I was almost going to pick up the wrong paint. So I'm going to take now, I'm going to go the other way now. Instead of taking red and adding yellow, I'm going to take yellow. I'm going to go over here. Yellow. Pick up a little bit of Naphtha Red Light. Always add the dark to the light. Okay, so that's this one here. Now this video is going to be a little bit longer, and I was going to speed it up for some parts, but I get so many thank yous for not speeding up my videos. On the tedious parts, yeah, but when it comes to color mixing like this, there's a lot of observations that I'm making, and I want you guys to hear. And you can skip through this if you want. So this mixture here, there's a lot more red in this, for sure. And this one here, there's a lot more yellow in it. Now, PY74, this is wrong. No, this is right, sorry. Hansa Yellow Medium is a yellow that leans more towards orange. So if you have a red that leans towards orange and a yellow leans towards orange, you're going to have something quite nice as a nice orange. But when I add white to it, I can see there's a little bit more red in this. So I was probably a little bit heavy on this. Then in the Hansa Yellow, which is more of a neutral yellow, if I take Naphtha Red Light and that, this makes a much brighter yellow, but then it could be because I added more yellow to it. Who knows? So when you're making these mixtures, don't take this as the end all, okay? Because you already know that from all these experiments, I can turn around and I can shift the colors so easily. Like initially, now look how red that is. That is super red. But if I just take a little bit more paint, it's not enough to make a true difference because the red is so strong. Okay, blot the brush, add a bit more yellow. You don't need to do this. I just want to show you how well it shifts. Okay, so a nice thing what you can do is, if you've got the time, is to make a larger chart where you can do a lot more variations of, let's say you have Naphtha Red Light, Hansa Yellow Medium, and then take that, add more yellow, add more yellow, add more yellow, add more yellow, and make sure you add white to see the true underlying color. Then on the other side, do the same mixtures, but do it more on the red side. So you get bonus points for that one. All right, so we have Naphtha Red Light and Hansa Yellow Light. So why do I have a funny feeling I did this mixture wrong? Did I dip into that? Oh, you know what? I don't know now. Okay, did I dip into that? I think I did this wrong. Okay, so let's take Hansa Yellow with a little bit of red. Just in case. Did I? I don't know. No, I think I'm okay. And then add some white. No, I was okay. I think I'm okay. I thought I picked up the wrong color. My goodness. So you can break it down to smaller pieces. It's so much easier. Okay, Hansa Yellow Light. Oh, a piece of dried paint in there. Hansa Yellow Light. This one's quite fluid. With Naphtha Red Light. Mix it really well. And when you're using the fluid paint, you also have to remember, if you're using a fluid paint with a with a, let's see, a heavy body, like with this one here, the heavy body one is going to be stronger than the transparent paint because the transparent paint has more water in it. Then we're going to add white. The values are usually pretty good because white is opaque. As you can see here, the white of the paper is showing through. All right, rinse the brush. Now I'm going to take primary yellow with a bit of naphtha red light. Oh, see, this one I picked up too. Oh, you can't see? Oh my God, I'm sorry. See, this one here I picked up too much red. So I'm going to go into the yellow. I blotted my brush, going back into the yellow, and just go onto the outside, just until I get a nice orange. And that's subjective. A nice orange for you may not be a nice orange for me, and vice versa. I think I'm going to have to pull the video out a little bit. Now you can't see when I add the white. How about I do this? I'm going to need to get another palette anyways. Alright, so now you can see all the different types of oranges that you can make with one red and 4 oranges. Now you know what I'm noticing here. So primary yellow, PY3, PY73, PW6. You know how you can make this? Take Hansa Yellow Medium and Hansa Yellow Light and white. This is why we don't need primary yellow. I have it because I use it for paint pouring. This is the bigger container. So you don't need to have that. If you're not going to do paint pouring, or if you want to do the fluid stuff, that's fine. But you can always make this and add a little bit of water to it. These 3 yellows are in the limited palette anyways. Hansa Yellow it's one of the bonus paints I have, but these ones here, they're in the my primary limited palette anyways. So you get a nice yellow that leans towards orange, and a yellow that leans towards green to create different things. This one here, you can see how really transparent that is. So let's add another layer to that. Hansa Yellow Light with a bit of naphtha red light. Let's add another layer to that. See, and I picked up a bit more red, and you can see how it shifted. Then white. So this is now more on the red side. So I add a bit more red to it. That's why it's, when it comes to secondary colors, other than the phthalo greens, and we'll get to that in another video, the secondary colors, I like mixing them up myself. All right, so now we're going to do the same thing. I need another palette. Quinacridone Magenta. How about I use my gray palette for this part? So Quinacridone Magenta. And we're going to take Hansa Yellow Medium. Now, what you notice? See, when you do it on the gray palette, it looks completely different than if you were doing it on a white palette. Because gray is a neutral. Ooh, that's an interesting... That's an interesting orange. Now remember, Quinacridone Magenta is a red. I just answered the pop quiz question. It is a red, PR122. With some white. Because it looks, even though it's a red, because it looks like it's more on the magenta side, it's the way it's processed, it does look a little bit muddier. But if you really played with this, it looks almost like yellow ochre or yellow oxide. That'll be an interesting experiment for later on. So now we're going to take, let's say, Quinacridone Magenta and Hansa Yellow. Hansa Yellow, Quinacridone Magenta. I'm just adding a little bit to start. Trying not to cheap out on the paint. So you see how it shifted just by adding more of the quinacridone magenta? I'm trying to avoid adding water because it makes everything transparent. Then I just have to add another layer anyways. And white. So this is a nice creamy one. Nice and creamy. And these ones here with the white, I see these in skin tones. I also see these here, a little bit lighter than that, for maybe some shadows in, like if you're painting a collie, or like a yellow orange, just a yellow orange colored dog. Then I'm going to take Hansa Yellow Light and quinacridone magenta. That Hansa Yellow Light is so fluid. Don't know why. Usually the paint dries out, not... I'm going to have to add another layer to that one. So this one is definitely more on the yellow side. Still a bit ruddy. Let me add a bit more quinacridone magenta to that. Trying to get an orange. Hansa Yellow Light, quinacridone magenta. Trying to get an orange, not a yellow. So this one here, I'm going to give you some clues and I want you to answer, because I already gave you the answer for the quinacridone magenta. So let's give another pop quiz. Why do you think I'm having trouble with this one here? Trying to bring it down to a nice orange value. Quinacridone magenta, PR122. Where is it? Where is it? Where's my... I don't have... Oh, there it is. Let's see. Quinacridone magenta. PR122. Okay. And then Hansa Yellow Light, which is a yellow that leans towards green. So quinacridone magenta sits right around, that sits right around here. And Hansa Yellow Light sits right over here. So if I'm taking the reds, that quinacridone magenta and Hansa Yellow to try to make an orange, why does it seem like I'm having a little bit of trouble doing that? So that's your bonus question. I'm going to try to make that mix again. See how much darker that is? I am not liking the fluidity of this yellow. And then add white. So why do you think I was having trouble with this one? So comment below and we'll see what you can come up with. Alrighty, what's next? Primary yellow and quinacridone magenta. Primary yellow, I'm going to take a bit more than that. And quinacridone magenta. So primary yellow is 2 yellows and white. And we'll take white. Go. Let me tilt that because you have a glare. There we go. So those are in some interesting mixtures. So now let's take, I'm just going to fresh palette paper. Now we're going to do the same exercise now with Pyrrole Red, and the paint's going across. I'm going to have to get a bit more yellow because I'm not liking how... I'm going to shake that a little bit better. Yeah, I'm not liking how fluid that is. Wonder if I picked up my bottle that has the pouring medium in it. All right, Pyrrole Red, Hansa Yellow Medium. Hansa Yellow Medium and Pyrrole Red. Now, do you also find... Do you also find that it's a bit harder to see the mixes on gray paper? Look at that difference. I can actually see the mixtures better on the white. But when actually doing fine art painting, the gray palette is the better way to go. Here, there's your pop quiz number 2. Let's see if you can figure that one out. Where can I put this where chaos isn't going to get it? So why is a gray palette better than a white palette when doing actual formal painting? Need a bit more than that. Pyrrole Red. What color am I in? I'm gonna need more paint, more of that too. Now this is a nice orange. That's a nice orange too. Now if do I have it on my chart? Oh, seriously, I didn't put Pyrrole Red on this chart. Huh, okay. You know what? Let me quickly do that. I can't believe I missed that one. Pyrrole Red. So Pyrrole Red is a red that leans towards violet. There we go. And this is plus white. Now when you're doing this is a great way to really understand. So this leans a bit more towards red. The Hansa Yellow Medium leans towards orange. Hansa Yellow Medium orange. And Pyrrole Red leans more towards violet. They're closer to opposite sides on the color wheel, which naturally would make them a little, I wouldn't say muddy, but a bit more dull. All right, so let's take that, add white to it. You can really see though when you add the white that the color leans much more to the yellow side. So we have Hansa Yellow now. Now this one here, I'm not going to need as much of the yellow because it's the Traditions and it's much thicker. Pyrrole Red, let's try to get this a bit more on the red side. So Hansa Yellow is more of a neutral yellow. Pyrrole Red leans more towards violet. And what do we end up with? To me, it's a lot more of a cleaner orange. Add white. And we still, it still looks a little bit more yellow. Let's take a bit more red in there. This is where I love to experiment. See, just by shifting it. Just got paint on my hands. All right. So you see where I'm going with this, right? So I'm going to take Hansa Yellow Light. So Hansa Yellow Light is a yellow that leans towards green. Pure Red is a red that leans towards violet. Ooh, this one just killed the yellow. Just overpowered the yellow. I can turn around and add more yellow to it and all that stuff, but let's see what we have with this. This is very, very fluid. I have a funny feeling I am using the bottle for pouring, paint pouring, but I didn't mark the bottle. So I already have the medium inside. I don't know. This is just so water. This is so thin. And add white. There we go. So what are you observing so far with the colors? So now we're going to use primary yellow. What are you observing so far? I really made this on the red side. My observation is that using the fluid acrylics, you need to go heavy on the red when making the oranges. There we go. You need to go more on the red. And that's a choice that you're going to have to make as to, you know, when you're doing your mixes. You know, instead of having just one orange that will give you one type of color, just take two of the primaries, whichever ones you want, whichever red you choose, whichever yellow you choose, and you can go from there. If you have the orange, let's say you have a pear known orange, you could always add more red or more yellow to that. All right, now, because this video now is approaching, I think, 28 minutes, I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to do the rest. You can just quickly follow along, and then I'll make my observations at the end. Alrighty, I'm all finished this section here, and I also did the Americana acrylics, so you can see where the nice oranges are more with the Hansa Yellow Medium and Hansa Yellow. The Hansa Yellow Light, it gets to be a little bit more muddy with the primary yellow, because it has a yellow that leans towards orange and a yellow that leans towards green. It's, you know, it's pretty neutral. For my style of painting, I'm kind of liking these ones right in here. The Americana acrylics was quite thin because I don't know what's in either one of the colors. You know, at face value, the paints look pretty nice. The Americana, the True Red, though, looks like it leans a bit more towards the violet, which shows why it's a little bit more ruddy. Now, this mixture here, this is the Decor Art Traditions Vermilion, which is a mixture. That's this color right here, which is the PR9 and PY74. And I added some white. Now what I want to do is I want to show you how to make a similar mixture using naphtha red light, which is PR9, and Hansa yellow, which is PY74. So we're going to take Hansa yellow, and this is the Traditions because I don't have it in the fluid acrylics. Let's add a bit more paint there. And then we're going to take naphtha red light, and we're going to mix. This is where you start asking the questions now. I'm going to put it down here. Ooh, okay. The questions: is it lighter or darker? This is too light. Is it brighter or duller? It's too bright. And leaning on the color wheel, oh, we need more red on there. So let's take a bit more red. Let's put that down there. You know what? I wonder if I have white in my brush. Oh, let's take a bit more red. Bit more red. No, I think I'm okay, but I don't think my brush was 100% clean. There we go. So when you ask yourself the questions, is it lighter or darker, more intense or dull? Which way does it shift on the color wheel? And that helps you choose your colors. Could even take a bit more red than that. Okay, now let's add white. The white will give us much better understanding. And I want you, this would be pop quiz. Let's see, pop quiz number 1, pop quiz number 2. I think this is pop quiz number 3. Pop quiz number 3. What is one of the challenges that I have to be aware of, or one of the variables I have to be aware of with my specific mixture? So I used Decor Media Fluid Acrylics Naphtha Red Light, and I used Decor Traditions Hansa Yellow. So what are one of my challenges with these paints that I chose? And you can also see that this makes a beautiful peach. A beautiful peach color. Let's add more white. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Let's take, yeah, and I know I'm not rinsing my brush out because I see paint inside here. So let's take a bit more white to vermilion. Let's make it fair. There we go. Oh, I need to, it's a little bit darker. A little bit more. All I'm doing is I'm adding more vermilion to it to try to match it to that. So when trying to match this here, one of the things I need to look at is, you know what? I don't know what DecoArt's formula was for taking PR9 and PY74 to make vermilion. I don't have measuring spoons. I'm eyeballing it. So you can see that as this starts to darken, my mixture is a little bit darker. So a little bit redder. Okay, when looking at these two. Is that necessarily correct? No, because these two mixtures here have white. So I added a bit much. I didn't add enough white in this one here. But when you look at these two are very similar. At face value, they look fine. So this is why it's not necessary for me to actually own, I do own vermilion, but it's not necessary for me to have vermilion in my palette because Naphtha Red Light and Hansa Yellow are already in my core limited palette. So why do I need to have this color? All right. So you're going to take for your homework assignment, there's 3 pop quizzes and your homework assignment. I know this video is long, but you know, if orange is your jam, this is the video. And as we start mixing the actual secondary colors, they will be longer. Oh, pop quiz number 4. So why are, you guys are going to hate me. So why are the videos longer for the secondary colors? So the video for orange and let's say green and violet are going to be much longer than the videos for red, yellow, and blue. Why would that be? So comment below those answers. So 4 pop quizzes, 1 homework assignment. You're going to take 4 or 5 reds, 4 or 5 yellows. You're going to make a chart like this. Your reds on one side, yellows across the other, and leave some squares in between where you can add your white. And make your observations that way. Then what I want you to do is I want you to pick your 2 favorite mixtures. So you're going to pick your favorite mixture of orange that leans towards red and your favorite orange that leans towards yellow. Make a note of that yellow because that should be something that you should really master painting and you should master mixing with your favorite colors, because when it comes to orange and you run out, let's say if you have a regular orange tube of paint, if you run out, you don't need it. You can already mix it and you'll have your chart that you can refer to for knowing which side of the color wheel you want your orange to become. Alrighty, so hope you enjoyed this. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description below to hop on over to the community or the Facebook page and post your pictures there of your chart and any comments, questions, or aha moments that you had while making your chart. And if you have any questions, let me know over in the community and I will help you along. Alrighty, so until I see you in the next video, stay inspired.